Here's the story, all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. I'm just playing. Please don't sue me. Really, here's the story about how I got paid to stay off YouTube in 2024. The truth is, I viewed YouTube as a way to get rich quick, and honestly, that's just not how it works. I can't just post videos and expect in a year's time, if I'm consistent, to have 1 million subscribers and to be financially free. It just doesn't work like that, and 99.9% of YouTubers don't make 1 million subscribers in a year and don't become financially free within a year's time. And my goal was unrealistic because of the microwave that is American culture, to be honest, where you're given these quick glimpses of success, reel after reel, and you think it's achievable in an unrealistic way. People don't make it overnight. People put in hard work and discipline, and they get to their goal by striving after it, and it takes time. And for me, because of my goals for last year, I knew that YouTube wasn't the best route for me. So instead, what I did was refocus. I asked myself, what is the best way I can spend my time in light of my goals? Because just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. And for me, I had to realize that. And what I realized is I've become so distracted by so many things that my goal of becoming financially free became elusive. We're so distracted by our phones, life, work, everything. And so if we're going to achieve something meaningful, we need to cut down on what we're allowing in our life. And for me, I'm the biggest problem. I pursue so many different things at the same time. It's like me shooting 5 arrows in 5 different directions, expecting them all to hit their target. And life doesn't work like that. In all honesty, I started not 1 YouTube channel, but 2 YouTube channels. And I thought I could do them both and do all the other stuff. And so that's just a small glimpse of how distracted I get. And so what I had to do was just simplify my life. I had to remove everything that hindered me from achieving my goal. And in all honesty, I suffer from shiny object syndrome, where people chase things that seem to glitter and they think that that's the best way to achieve their goals. That's literally me. I am that person. I was diagnosed by my cat. And so truly, it was a struggle. I had to get rid of all the distractions. And so I stopped doing anything that didn't allow me to pursue my goal, which was pursuing financial freedom. Whatever the next Amazon FBA or Shopify or drop shipping is, I easily get caught up in that. And so I have to reel myself back in so that I'm able to actually move forward by just focusing on the one thing. And so last year, that's all I did. I got a journal like this, and I just wrote down my schedule for the next day, because what I did learn is if you're not planning your next day, you're automatically behind. If you don't plan your next day, someone's going to plan it for you. And so for me, I had to be intentional in spending 5 to 10 minutes just planning out what it looked like for me to not only pursue the things I need to do, but also to pursue the things that I want to do so that I can get to my goal. This journey looked like prioritizing. It looked like putting the important things first. And so what I would do in my schedule is I would say, the hardest thing for me to do today is this. This is the thing I most feel like not doing, so I'm gonna do this first. I'll save the easy things for last, and I would prioritize my days like that so that my work could get done. And so part of that process was making sure that I embraced the hard things. One exercise that I did that really helped me was actually just envisioning, if I left my life the way it is right now, the habits that I'm doing, if I just enjoyed that, enjoyed the easy things, where would I be in 30 years? For me, that's Netflix, catching up on the latest things, playing games, those kinds of things. If I did that and I pushed it out to its furthest conclusion, where would I be in 30 years? And would I be happy with that? No. It's emphatically no. I wouldn't feel like I've pursued the purpose that God placed me here for. And would you? Would you be satisfied? Would you be anywhere else if you did the exact same thing that you're doing now for 30 years' time? For me, again, that's emphatically no. And so what I had to do was I had to focus. I had to prioritize. There's a proverb, I believe it's Proverbs 13, which says, the soul of a lazy man desires but has nothing, and the soul of a diligent man shall be made rich. And what that means is that you can desire all you want, you can make plans to be something, to do something with your life, but if you're not willing to take life by the reins, to use the mind that God gave you, if you're not willing to embrace the hard things, you're not going to accomplish anything.
How to be a hard worker.
Trust me, I know I wish I didn't know from experience, but I know from experience, and it's tough. If you want to do something meaningful, do the hard things. Do the thing you're most scared to do. Do it and do it well. I hope you don't want to be in the same position you are now in 30 years. And that takes embracing the uncomfortable things. That takes getting beyond your comfort zone. That takes making sure you do something different. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I wasn't going to do that. And so I stopped. So the difficult thing that I chose to pursue instead of YouTube was wholesaling real estate. And this was actually something that I pursued back in 2021, but I gave up after a few months because I didn't feel like I was getting results. And so I just moved on to something better. Again, shiny object syndrome. And so instead, this time I was determined to see results. If you don't know what wholesaling real estate is, before I go further, it's essentially you as a middleman acting between the seller and the buyer for a fee. And so specifically with real estate, what this looks like is if I'm able to find a seller who's willing to sell their house for $175,000 and I can find a buyer who's willing to buy that same house for $190,000, then that $15,000 difference would go to me. Obviously minus taxes. IRS don't come for me. And so with that being said, that's what I chose to pursue. I knew this worked, but I knew it took work. And so for the next year, I pursued and I focused exclusively on that. And I'm proud to say that I was able to exceed my goal of $20,000 and make $24,000 in the span of 30 days. And this is incredible because this was something that I was scared to do and failed to do previously. And it just goes to show that if you work hard enough and if you put in enough effort, you can accomplish your goal. It's only February, so we have plenty of time to accomplish our 2025 goals. And so for me, I've set out to be faithful on YouTube and just document instead of trying to make $1 million off of YouTube. Instead, I'll just be being faithful to that. And moving forward, I'm gonna focus on wholesaling a little more because I do want to make some short-term goals financially, and I'll continue to do that and push there. If you want to see that journey, again, let me know. And that's only the beginning. I plan to do so much over this year, but I'm just taking it one step at a time. And so in the same way, don't let your comfortability be the enemy of the better you, of the ultimate you. I've heard Will Smith say that God places the most beautiful things in life on the other side of fear. And if you can just get through that fear, get through that uncomfortability, there is something beautiful that God has in store for you. Trust me, I know from experience, I did not think I'd be making a I did it video, but I did it, and you can too. Thank you.